While stopping short of comparing sightings of other young commercial fishermen to seeing the Loch Ness Monster, North Carolina's Mac Hopkins has noticed how few in the Outer Banks seem to be preparing for a future in the industry.
Around here, I feel like there's really not that many young people coming up in it. My friend Brandon, he's right here, and we just got a couple of us good buddies, that feel like we're the young crowd coming up.
Hopkins, who works on his family's boat fishing for tuna, mahi-mahi, and swordfish in the Atlantic Ocean, says while government regulations have helped make U.S. seafood some of the safest in the world and have protected shellfish, sea turtles, and other species, some rules may be inadvertently choking out a way of life in oceanside communities. As a boy, Hopkins learned to fish running his own small skiff in Albemarle Sound. But regulations intended to protect sea turtles and other species have put a damper on the practice of children setting out on spontaneous fishing expeditions.
That's where a lot of boys start, young, and then they shut. You can't hardly do that anymore. It's very, very strict now. Mainly in the Sound, it's because of sea turtle encounters, which is understandable, but there's a very strong population of sea turtles in the Sound now.
Fisheries specialist Sarah Mirabilio, an employee of the Federal State Research and Educational Partnership North Carolina Sea Grant, understands the concerns of oceanside communities, but applauds the progress made in protecting the area's marine life.
So we want long-term continuance of our natural resources, but we also want to balance that so that we have a coastal economy.
Another threat facing the area is rising sea levels. Although experts disagree whether a predicted 1/8 inch per year encroachment is valid, Outer Banks fishermen are more worried about current financial conditions than losing 6 inches of shoreline over the next 50 years.
They have a lot of threats at them right now. They have a lot of regulations that are curbing how much they can catch. You have development pressures that are going on. The fishermen, they're more concerned about how are they going to put food on the table a year from now. They're not looking 50 years because they feel like they may be out of business in 5.
As far as hurricane and stuff and the rising waters, I ain't seen a whole lot of difference over the years. I mean, I know it's millimeters or whatever, but I haven't noticed anything. It's such a minute increase.
Peel, who is a 4th-generation fisherman, operates in the state and federally regulated climate, trying to balance the need to protect endangered species while making a living. He has to be careful to keep wild sea turtles out of his nets, and even a few close encounters with these creatures, such as an accidental catch, will mean an early end to his fishing season. Certain fishermen are required by law to have on-board video or in-person monitoring to prove they are following the rules. Some types of sea turtles, which must be released if accidentally caught, have been on the endangered species list since the 1970s. Local fishermen believe the population has rebounded enough that it is time for another assessment.
They're going to catch more turtles just by sheer probability. It's a numbers game. So if a fisherman has done really well, followed the rules, used sea turtle protections, the population rebounds, his fishing opportunity goes down because the fishery closes sooner, because the level of turtles that they're allowed to interact with is met quicker because the population is recovering.
While Peel appreciates how some of the rules have protected sea life for the future, he is frustrated knowing that fishermen from other nations typically have to comply with looser regulations. Like many in the U.S. fishing industry, he faces the cost of buying more expensive fishing gear that is safer for non-target marine life.
Yes, I know, understand that protect them, but put people out of business and lose their livelihood, I mean, that's going too far.
Dewey Hemmelwright, a commercial fisherman for 30 years who was appointed by the state of North Carolina to the Mid-Atlantic Fishery Management Council, says leveling the playing field worldwide would help.
Other countries don't have them strict regulations. So what they're able to do is catch the fish, that are highly migratory and send them fish back into our marketplace. So they don't have to have vessel monitoring systems. They don't have to have observers. They don't have to have certain gear restrictions. And so they're allowed to catch these fish, not use friendly gear out there, and allowed to ship into our marketplace. Puts a U.S. fisherman at a disadvantage.
Mirabilio says the situation makes it difficult for fishermen to implement good business planning and decide on future gear investment because they never know if they will be able to fish for 30 days or only 7.
And this should be sort of a victory march for natural resource managers and industry. What we did worked. The protections we put in our commercial fishing industry worked.
It shouldn't be that, we force regulations on the U.S. fisherman and make him the poster child to go to everybody else if we're going to give them the marketplace. If everybody else was as eco-friendly as a U.S. fisherman, there'd probably be a lot more critters in the ocean.
For Market to Market, I'm Colleen Bradford Krantz.